Must be it there. Nope, not quite. Oh, must be. Must be live. Beating Banana Cake Pie to the punch once again, dearie me. But welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 14 of the Masters Championship here on Dynamic Nights Esports. We're at a legendary circuit, one of the most legendary in the world of motorsport. It is undoubtedly South America's premier racetrack, and indeed Brazil's premier racetrack. We're here at Autodromo José Carlos Pache, ready for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's a 4.3 kilometer circuit with 15 corners, each of which are incredibly difficult, and you need to try and get these right around here. There's little to no margin for error around this place. You stuff up one bit, you stuff up pretty much the whole circuit in many cases, particularly in the notorious technical section that is Sector 2. But it's time to begin qualifying here at Brazil, and alongside me tonight, for the first time I think since Germany, Mr. James Cruz. Thank you very much for joining me here tonight, mate. It's a pleasure to have you alongside me.
Happy, very happy to be in your presence, Meg. Yeah, I think I'll just be sending in some random facts now and again, and you'll be putting on the masterclass of commentary for us tonight while we watch these fantastic drivers line up and hopefully send it all the way through this beautiful, gorgeous, flowing course.
Now, just to make sure as well that your audio is all good as well, just to make sure that it's on always allow in the parting settings.
Oh, always allow, okay.
Yeah, just to make sure. I'm pretty sure you are being broadcasted onto the stream, but I'd just like to make sure.
I'll put it on for this one. I switched over, just in case.
Anyway.
Excellent. Who's first out?
So, I believe it's Dr. Dre in the Red Bull. Oh, turn up your mic a little bit as well. A request from Servernight. I can hear you quite fine, but yeah, just turn yourself up a little bit.
Yep.
That way you're not just in the shadows, you're up here with me. As Dr. Dre is off to set the first flying lap here at Sao Paulo, coming into turn 1, the Center S, the legendary Center S, a downhill chicane, very difficult to get right. The first corner is quite difficult as it's got a blind apex. Turns 2 and 3 are difficult for that exact reason, for invalidating lap time. So easy to cut, and the corner cutting around this track is just absolutely stupid. I'll keep an eye on his teammate X Revolution then. He's coming down the Reta Aposta into Descida del Lago. Turns 4 and 5, very nice flowy bits in here. You have to be careful of that curb on the inside though. Take too much of it and the back end really does get happy. Into turn 6, double apex right-hander. Takes it very nicely in 5th gear, using all the curb on exit into the hairpin of turn 8 into turn 9. Now, turn 10, I believe it's called Duckbill Corner. I think that's what it's called, Duckbill. At the circuit, it's in Portuguese as Aussie Rizzy Rick sets the first flying lap, 1 minute 8.8 on the soft compound tyre. Through Junsao, notorious 90-degree left-hander, that is quite critical towards the circuit. You stuff up that corner, you stuff up the entire run through the third sector, and coming up to the line, it's a 1 minute 8.474, or 473 according to the leaderboard. 0.4 of a second quicker than the McLaren of Aussie Rizzy Rick, and then it's obliterated by Amazing Hour in the Alfa Romeo, a 1 minute 8.252. Now, where are the critical gentlemen in this championship? One of them's 40-22 and the other one is Zach Crichton. Now, this is the penultimate round in this championship. The next round at Suzuka will play as the final round in this championship. It's a very close one as 40, what the... Okay, you just decide to go and crash into the inside wall. Coming towards the pit straight, okay, fine.
Just making it exciting.
I guess. I don't know why he would do such a thing. I mean, yeah, you can get angry over something, but far out. When there's a championship at stake, don't risk blowing up your car on a stuffed up flying lap. Anyway, Zach is currently leading the championship, and he's got a big enough lead that if he scores 2 or more points, he will become Drivers' Champion. 2 or more points more than what 40 scores, he will become Drivers' Champion. So it's going to be quite the tall order to 440 to try and hang on to the championship fight when Zach's pretty much got all the cards up his sleeve.
And I'm pretty sure every placing above 10th there's at least 2 points difference.
Yeah,
so as long as they're not backmarkers, I think it could be sealed here if he's just in front by 1.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really in Zach's favour here at Sao Paulo. And also, I believe this is one of his more favoured racetracks as well. So it's an even taller order for the Racing Point to try and hang on to this championship fight. But it's still possible. Anything happens here at Interlagos, so we'll have to wait and see how the race plays out. But currently Zach's invalidated his lap time, so we'll move away from him.
This will be ultimate bragging rights for 2019. It's probably the last championship race at Brazil.
Pretty much.
Before we all transition over to the new 2020 game. That, I might add, is absolutely amazing. Go check out iContrast's videos. He's got a lot of good previews and really good insight as well into the mechanics and the way the game operates. So head over to him. I think he's racing for Haas tonight.
He is indeed a special guest, a special reserve driver. I'm sure he's going to be mixing it up with the top of the field as well. Not exactly a slow driver, Mr. Contrast, so it'll be quite interesting to see how he goes. But I want to hear your view of what F1 2020, what you think it's going to be like. Do you think it's just going to be a reskin of F1 2019, or do you think Codemasters are actually going to really innovate with this brand new game?
I think it'll bring a lot more casual people in, especially with all the driver market absolutely shaken up the last couple of days. A lot of people get excited about any sport being released, and we're sort of lucky that 2020 game has come out pretty much at the end of quarantine for most countries. So, but I really think it's really polished. There's only 3 ERS modes. There's potentially a DAS mode, where you push the steering wheel forward and changes the camber. Yeah. So that might be a secret at launch, but yeah, I think they'll probably fix a few corner cutting areas. But I think on launch, any new game with F1, there's always going to be bugs and exploits. So
yeah,
overall, it's going to be quite enjoyable to transition, I think, especially with the new Zandvoort and Vietnam. Zandvoort's banking just looks like Valhalla. It's just gorgeous all the way through. It's I can't wait to send it. I know I'm going to lose quite a bit up there, but it's just going to be awesome.
But yeah, I can't wait to see the Grosjean launch himself into space going off the banking, because that is bound to happen when the Dutch Grand Prix is a thing.
Magnussen sending someone up there.
Probably. I wouldn't be at all surprised if it's both Haas's somehow involved. Just having an accident at the massive banking that is the final corner. But I don't know, I have this horrible feeling that F1 2020 is just going to be a reskin of F1 2019, and it's just going to have some of the like the really big issues with this game. Like overtaking, for example, is next to impossible. It's absolutely stupid, particularly at tracks like Spa, and the chicane at Suzuka as well is absolutely god-awful. The car's tendency to spin as well, like the auto spin curbs at Suzuka, it's just...
Yeah, they got to piss off.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, it's absolutely horrible going through the S's at Suzuka, particularly on a controller, and you just touch one of those inside curbs and away you go into Narnia. I mean, it's just ridiculous, some of the things in this game. And also the stupid setups as well. Like max camber, max toe, pretty much all the time.
Yeah, right, left.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure an F1 team doesn't operate like that. I mean, it's. I have a feeling that Codemasters.
I guess programmers aren't race engineers.
That's true. That's very true.
And race engineers aren't programmers, but it'd be great if they gave a little bit more insight, because it would come through, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be what we have now.
Well, again, it's teams wouldn't openly reveal data to the public. I mean, it's a lot of their data is sacred stuff. It's giving them an edge against other teams in real life Formula One. So, yeah, I guess it makes sense in that way. But there's just so many things about this game that I just have this massive problem with. But I hope they'll resolve some things. Just a few things here or there that just make the game a bit more comfortable to play with. But now we've rambled on long enough to the point where there's 7 minutes and 40 seconds left in the session. But then again,
what are the odds of everyone coming under 110? Should heat up.
Well, the lowest place is at the moment iContrast. He's in 13th. And also a nice thing, we have a full grid tonight as well, which is great to see for a no assist tier, especially this top tier no assist tier. So we might be in a good place to see all of the drivers get under a 1 minute 10. That would be absolutely extraordinary. Roscoe Arm having a moment just before Jun Sao coming out of turn 11. Dear me, he almost ended up throwing himself into the wall, but luckily he caught it. Now, Amazing Hour is currently the driver on pole position, a 1 minute 8.252, beating Zach, a 1 minute 8.293. It's incredibly close between these two exceptional racing drivers, with Aussie Rizzy Rick in P3. Very nice spot for him so far, but still a fair way off the top too. A 1 minute 8.410. Still has to try and find a bit of time. Now, let's see, and 40, one of the key championship contenders, currently P8, a fair way off his rival Zach, but he's now on a flying lap. Probably best to stay on board with him. Coming into Desida de Lago, very wide on corner exit, have to be kind of careful through there, as the corner exit kind of slopes away and tries to push the car away from turn 5. Through turn 6 and 7 into turn 8, the hairpin. Very nice, slow, flowy bit through here, sector 2. Very nice and flowy. He's got a Renault in front of him. It's not expert, he's in the pits, so it must be Plevs. He's on a flying lap, but he gets out of the way at turn 11. Into Jun Sao, turn 12. That's just a yellow flag of Plevs slowing down. Now into turn 14, I believe. Yes, it is, turn 14. And then finally into turn 15. Now it's at 6, 7, a 1 minute 8.5. And only puts him up one extra position into P7, so it's not looking good for 40-22 at this stage. There's still 5 minutes left in qualifying. Hopefully he can pull something out of the bag to try and catch up to his main rival, who is also now on a flying lap. Might turn off some of this so we can actually watch.
Aaron set pole.
Oh wow, a 1 minute 8
nearly
flat.
in the 7s.
So let's see here, Zach Crichton coming into Desida de Lago. Now he's up on his time, but he needs to find at least 2/10 to try and beat his teammate into turn 6 and 7.
Exactly 2/10.
Let's see, into turn 8, now turn 9, Little Fern Tree. I believe this is called in English. In Portuguese, it's something else that I am horrible at pronouncing.
The only Portuguese I know is Nando's.
I know that some of the corners, like Jun Sao, I know, although it's not pronounced like that. It's like Jun Su or something like that. But,
sounds like that actor from Lost.
but because I'm Australian, I can't do Portuguese accent, so it's not going to work well for me. Now, coming across the line, it's an 8-1. He can't beat his teammates.
He locked up on the entry on his outlap. That's probably the difference there.
An X Revolution as well jumps up to P2. I didn't see that. I had the leaderboard turned off. I wanted to watch Zach's lap, but wow, it is insanely close between these guys. 2.5 tenths separate the top 5. That is incredible around this circuit. It's not exactly a long circuit, 4.3 kilometers, but you got sector 2, which is quite the slow technical section, an area where you can make plenty of mistakes. As Zach pulls off to the side, that was the yellow flag. Now, let's see, who else is on the fly? Swaggy isn't. Spilly is on an out lap. Curving Texas is on a fly. He's coming out of turn 10 into 11. He's looking good. He's chucked it up into hot lap mode. He's probably going to be running it to the end, but he has the back end sliding everywhere through turn 12. That might ruin his chances through this third sector. And he's just, well, if he can improve, he's going to go into the 9s of 108, 109.6. So that leaves 3 drivers yet to go into the 1 minute 9s. And that would make that 2 drivers, as Tal has now gone into the 9s. VSR Roscoe Arm, I believe, is about to start a flying lap.
Has Crossy got a qualifying ban or something?
I think he might, actually. The zucchini don't disappoint you. Bloody Nick. Is righto. So, did Crossy? I might have to look at the race report at some point from last race. There might have been an exceeding of penalty points against his name, thus having to serve a qualifying. And there we go. He's retired from the session. So, yeah, he must have had a Q ban put up against him, maybe exceeding penalty points, but again I'll have to look. Now, with 1:40 left in the session, these drivers will be out to try and set their final flying laps, and Roscoe Arm on the medium tyre is going to try and set a flying lap. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to crack into the 10. We'll have to wait and see. To crack into the 10, he needs to go literally 1 second faster. So it's quite a tall order. Let's see, through the centre S he goes into Cover de Sol. I think it's called Cover de Sol. Yeah, that sounds right. Onto the Retta Aposta, into the braking zone of Desita de Largo, and his lap's looking pretty good at the moment. Nice and clean through turns 4 and 5. Be interesting to see where he qualifies on the medium tyre. Currently last. Through turn 7 into turn 8. Now, Amazing Hour has started a lap time. And he's pulled out of it. Oh no. Did he beat his lap time? Yes, he must have. He was in 5th place the last time I checked. So that's his session pretty much done. A 1 minute, 1 minute 8.125 puts him in P2. X-Revolution is up on his time, and he's looking like he's going to snag pole position here. He's coming through Jun Sao into turn 14, then turn 15, and a flat-out run to the line.
Yep, Zach invalidated on the centre S. He was
and
up.
A 1 minute 8, almost a 1 minute 8 flat. Oh, so Zach has invalid through the centre S.
He was going to get pole easy, and he shanked it.
Oh dear. But critically for Zach, I know he wouldn't be too happy with himself, but he's in front of 40, currently P7, and 40 session is done as well. Stuart McKenzie is now retired in P8. Fairly average showing from the Alpha guys, P3 and P8 in comparison to their previous runs. Swaggy will remain in P5. Aussie Rizzy Ricky's pulled out of his lap as well. But it seems it's now down to Aaron, the teammate of Zach Crichton. Can he take pole position here? He needs to go into the 7s. It's a 1 minute 7. No!
Oh, he's so close.
He invalidated.
Anyway. Yeah.
He invalidated. Yeah, righto.
Made it exciting.
Ah, bugger. That was a very close lap there. I think pretty much everyone is done.
Yeah, Contrast coming in the pit. Experts pitting.
Both of them on low fuel, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
They'll come into the pits and that will end qualifying. So X Revolution will start on pole. And there's the AI doing its thing, running up the back of the drivers in front, because that's how great the AI is in this game.
What is the AI set for the lobby for Masters?
90.
90, yeah, that's good.
So just the beginning of Master difficulty in the game itself.
I've raced it a few times. It's actually quite a fun level to race against.
It's semi-competitive at 90, as the Mercedes of Aaron and Aussie Rizzy Rick have come together and have both of them wheels are missing. Oh dearie me. That's F1 2019 AI in a nutshell. So that will conclude qualifying, hopefully. This is the longest wait I have ever been through to end the quali session. Yes, X Revolution on pole, Aaron in P2, Amazing Hour P3, Zach a critical P4, but I think he would want to be a bit higher than that. Swaggy P5, Aussie Rizzy Rick P6, 40 P7, he's got a fair bit of work to do. Stuart McKenzie P8, I Contrast P9, and Expert rounds out the top 10. And all of those drivers will be starting on the soft compound of tyre. Okay, so Crossy, I didn't think Crossy had a qualifying ban. I guess he did want to start from the back.
Could be a wet race.
We'll have to wait and see. So that's qualifying done, and that's your top 10. Spilly will start from P11, Wogboy P12, Very Lazy Tail P13, Roscoe Arm on the medium starts 14th, Dr. Dre 15th, Curving Texas 16th, Al Tonki 17th, Plebs 18th, Bod Hod, the Diamond Champion, will start from 19th on the grid, and Crossy, after setting no time and retiring in the pit lane, will start from Plum last. Very interesting. I guess, yeah, he just wants to start from the back, I guess. That is the Williams Grandmaster strategy. That's a Kubica strategy.
Watching will be between Macca and Aaron. They've only got 20 points separating them in the third and fourth for the driver standings. I reckon that'll be fireworks.
We'll have to keep an eye on it, and we have to keep an eye on the weather. It's not clear, it's definitely overcast, there's a few clouds about, so we might be seeing a little bit of rain during the race, maybe. We'll have to wait and see. But the drivers are loading onto the grid, fine-tuning their setups, fine-tuning the strategy and what not, and we'll finally get this race underway. Now this racetrack, in real life at least, has developed some of the greatest racing that we have ever seen in Formula One history. Everyone remembers the great race of 1991, not 81, where Ayrton Senna won his first and I believe only home Grand Prix behind the wheel of the McLaren, and that epic radio celebration in the end as well that everyone remembers. In the 2000s, let's see, we had Michael Schumacher's comeback drive in 2006, a real drive of a champion, where he had an outside shot of winning the title, but he developed a puncture on lap 1, I do believe, sent him right to the back, and then recovered to finish 5th, I do believe, which is an epic recovery drive from him. As, who is that? Just
okay, Experts jump to the front.
Righto, because why not? I guess.
I mean, it's probably the only time he'll lead the Masters race.
Oh, you never know.
He could be regular next season. I think he's got the pace. He's definitely one to watch out for.
Showed it. Particularly in Abu Dhabi, he showed excellent speed, and he was very much in that mid-pack fight And he was willing to fight for those positions as well. He didn't want to give them up. So, yeah, he might be a regular for this championship.
He's
I think that Mini Zach will have to go to Gaming Burger, to be honest. I think Gaming Burger is, Zach's protege, more or less. He is developing to become an excellent racing driver. Came second, if I'm not mistaken, at the assisted tier race, the Blue Championship race at Canada. Finishing second to only Zach Crichton, so he's looking good.
Bottom 10, we've got Tau and Texas on softs and El Tonki on hards.
So they've got a few mixed strategies throughout the grid.
I would have picked everyone to be on mediums, but I guess that's the beauty of Brazil. You can pick your poison. Hope for a safety car, or hope for rain.
We'll have to wait and see how it all pans out. But the drivers are now lining themselves back onto the grid for the start of this Brazilian Grand Prix. 36 laps lay in front of these drivers. And we're praying it to be an awesome race, like it is in real life. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go here at Interlagos, Brazil. And it seems that Revolution has got an awesome start, but Zach is holding it down the inside. The Revolution gives him plenty of space. Through the center race, everyone goes. And it seems that everyone gets through relatively okay. I haven't seen anyone spin out. But the lead is Revolution defending at the Descida del Lago. Can he hold on? I think he can, and he remains in the lead so far.
Oh, he went flying off there.
Oh, dearie me. Who's this?
At the back there, El Tonki.
Oh, dearie me. Now, let's have a look here. Position changes. High Contrast has moved up a couple of positions. He's currently fighting Rizzy Rick for 7th place down the inside into turn 11. Turn 10. Oh, and Amazing Hours off the circuit completely. He's back on it. Almost contact between him and Tau. Tau managing to just swerve the car further to the inside to avoid the Alfa Romeo. But Amazing Hour, that is an absolutely horrible start for the Alfa Romeo driver as X Revolution crosses the start-finish line. He has led the first lap, but can he hang on to it? He's now got Aaron behind. Zach has lost out to his teammate on that first lap, and he's now got 40 right in behind. This is critical for the championship. If 40 can find a way past, he makes this championship fight go on to Japan, and I hope that happens. As much as I like both drivers, I really want 40 to overtake him and keep this championship fight alive. But at the moment, Swaggy hanging on to P6, same with his teammate hanging on to P7, 6 rather. Seems that everyone has now settled down a little bit. There is a massive train, but no one really going at each other. As Tal has spun, curving Texas
has spun as well.
Oh, and Roscoe Arm has spun as a result of the 2 drivers in front.
Texas was up 4 positions before that mishap there.
Deary me.
Now we got Plevs up to 13th, jumped 5.
Same with Crossy, he's jumped up 5 positions as well as Zach sets a new fastest lap, a 1 minute 11.215. DRS is now enabled. Can we see an attack from Aaron? I don't think he's close enough. In fact, he's fell well behind the Red Bull of X Revolution. It seems that Zach might be lining up a move on his teammate very shortly. 40 falling away from the silver arrows of Zach, and we've got, oh dear, Experts off the circuit, and a Ferrari's off the circuit as well. I think that's Tal? No, it's Spilly. Spilly's off the circuit. Experts got a 10-second time limit. That will most likely get removed. You won't be able to surf that in the pit lane.
Soon. Someone's going to lose it all the way.
El Tonki almost did, coming out of turn 7. His car was completely sideways coming out of there. I was surprised that he didn't put it into a wall. It's very difficult to recover these things once you lose them. I'm glad to see him keep 4 wheels relatively pointing straight forward, and he's still going in 18th place. Back to the leaders, X-Revolution leading the way and sort of hanging on to that 7/10 of a second gap to Aaron in P2. Through the center S they go. Now it seems that although the cars behind have DRS, they're making little to no impact to the Red Bull in front. Seems that Revolution has got fantastic pace around here. Aaron very deep at the Cedar Delago
going to
turn
make
4.
a move into Plevs.
Oh, here we go.
No, he's not.
Not quite. Not quite close enough, but the cars are very close together. Wogboy, Plebs and the very lazy Tau fighting for 10th place. The last of the real life point scoring positions as Texas falls to 18th. Now, he's just lost 2 positions to Dre and Expert. These guys are fighting hard. Expert dives down the inside into the hairpin of turn 8. Oh, Dr. Drake tries to hold it down the inside, but he can't quite keep it alongside. He loses 2 positions, in fact, both to
Those
Expert
softs are
and
just so much more grip.
they do. And yeah, Dr. Dre on those medium compound tyres just isn't able to keep up.
Left for dust.
All of them have wind damage, I think. Expert does, Dr. Dre does. Does Kirby? 2. Missing end plate? No, he has a complete wing, so... I'm sure Curving is going to try and find a way past very shortly. In fact, he's going to do it now. Into turn 2.
Oh, that was just beautiful.
That's a very nice move. Swaggy, I think, has made a mistake, has he? No. Oh, he might have. He's lost time, a lot of time, to his teammate. His teammate's now been overtaken by Eye Contrast. He moves himself into 5th place. Oh, it's happening everywhere at the moment, as very lazy Tau has a moment.
Had a little bit of a moment. Slots himself back in. Re-engages the throttle.
Currently in 13th place. I don't know where to look. It's all fluctuating everywhere. We've got 3 groups, if you look at the mini-map. We've got the leading 4, which is Revolution, Aaron, Zach Crichton, and 40. Then we got the next group, which is, by contrast, Wizzy Rick, Swaggy, Mackenzie, and his teammate Amazing Hour. Behind that we have Wogboy, who's sort of by himself. Then we have another battle between Plebs, Crossy, Lazy Tal and Spill. Deary me, it's all happening everywhere. I don't know where to look. Crossy makes a move on Plebs at the beginning of the center S. He moves himself into 11th position. Deary me, we're only 6 laps into this thing as well. There's still a lot of racing to take place. Plebs looks around the outside into turn 4, deep under brakes. Can he hold it there? Yes, he can. He'll have the inside for turn 6, and he gets in front before turn 6 as well. Very nice move by the Renault driver. Hangs on to that P11, and the 2 Ferraris behind also look menacing as Tal gets a 3-second time penalty. They're definitely going to play a part here. Let's see. Better go back up to the leaders. Though they're not exactly doing much. Again, that gap is just sort of hovering around 7/10 of a second between the top 2. Not making many inroads towards X-Revolution. None of these 3 drivers are making any sort of inroads, really.
Must be some light rain at the end because they're just stretching their tyres. Not really pushing.
Might just be. The clouds do look menacing. They haven't disappeared. There is a few blue spots here and there. It's a bit patchy. But over that way, you can see there, it's definitely cloud cover. But we'll have to wait and see.
Contrast is leading that second pack.
He is indeed.
Followed by the 2 McLarens.
And Amazing Hour is right behind Swaggy as well, but he's not looking for a move quite just yet. He can try and make one work into turn 8. But I think he's just playing smart. Yeah, top 9, all of them are on the softs. Minus Wogboy to complete the top 10. But he's, at the moment, in a nice position. All by himself, he's just able to concentrate and just put some laps down. And if he can just sort of, not necessarily keep up, but sort of match the cars in front in terms of lap time, he'll do himself a lot of favours and will gain plenty of positions towards the end. So I wouldn't count him out just yet. Oh, an amazing hour! Contact with McLaren of Swaggy. He now falls back behind his teammate and then falls back from that battle pack. Over a second.
Know when to hold him and when to fold him.
Yeah. He thought there might have been a move into turn 1, but I guess they're shutting the door on that. That little melee between them has cost Swaggy a little bit of time. Aussie Rizirek is now right onto the back of Contrast into Sector 2. If he can keep up this sort of pressure, he'll do himself plenty of favours coming onto the pitch straight when he's got his DRS through turn 11 into turn 12. Now he needs a really good exit out of here, Jun Sao, and he does, but I think Contrast has gotten a better one. Into turn 14, then turn 15 to round out the lap. Ooh, dearie me, it's a bit jumpy. Aussie Rizirek, not quite close enough. Not quite. He's almost there though. And in fact, oh wow, still jumpy. Aussie Rizirek, I'm sure he'll find a way past. In fact, his teammate is now caught onto the back of Rizirek. So it seems that Swaggy in the McLaren has got really good pace. Same with Macca and Amazing Hour. Keeping up with this battle for 5th place. Back up to the leading quartet. Still, X-Revolution leads by 0.6 of a second to Aaron in P2. Zach Crichton P3, 40 in P4.
They're all maintaining that DRS gap.
Yeah. But it seems that Contrast is catching the pack a little bit. I have to keep a close eye on that gap between Contrast and 40.
And somehow he's actually got more DRS than them.
Let's see. And Zach might be looking for a move here into turn 1. He does. Locks up the brakes as well, but gets the move done. He moves himself into P2. And now there's a car between him and 40. But 40, he's just hanging on to the back of this pack, but he's using plenty of ERS to try and keep up with them. In fact, the driver with the most ERS, I think, is Revolution, which is quite interesting considering he's the driver leading this pack.
He's got no DRS to eat up.
Doing an absolutely fantastic job at the moment leading this race. But those clouds are coming ever so closer and they're becoming ever so darker, so we might be seeing a bit of rain. Lap 20? Alright. Yeah. So about 2/3 of the way through. Might be seeing some rain. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, who knows, it might just stay overcast for the entire race. Just has that threat of rain. But we shouldn't be getting any. But we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. Wogboy has actually fallen back quite a bit.
So, tale of 2 races.
We'll have to see how it works out for Wogboy. But yeah, now he's fallen well behind that pack fighting for 5th place. He's now back into the clutches of Spilly and the very lazy tail.
Ferraris are hunting.
They're still not quite close enough to the Williams to make a move, but they're going to gain so much time through the 2nd sector with those softer tyre that they have on at the moment. Let's just have a look-see. And Wogboy locks up as well through turn 8 into turn 9. Locks up again. It's not looking good for Wogboy. I think he might be losing 1, maybe 2 positions at the end of this lap, coming onto the pit straight. We'll have to wait and see. There's still this battle pack. Contrast, Rizirek. Rizirek's having a look around the outside into turn 1. Can he make the move stick? No, he can't. Contrast still holding on to that 5th place, but their battling is losing them a lot of time. That gap that was previously 2.7 seconds. Wait.
Got to be a move here.
Here we go. Oh, it almost clips Wizzy Rick's front wing there. Deary me, that was close. That was very close.
He's defending beautifully. He's closing it slightly every time.
Battle for the lead here. Zach Crichton and X Revolution are going side by side through the second sector into turn 10. And X Revolution is still holding it there. Now pulled out in front. He now becomes the leader of the Brazilian. But X Revolution, he'll be definitely lining something up coming into turn 1. He's got it in overtake mode. Through Subida de Boxes into Arquibancadas, turn 15. Look at that, the sheer power.
The pace, just crazy.
That overspeed that the DRS provides is absolutely ridiculous. He moves himself back into the lead.
He's going to return the favour.
Oh, 100%. As Expert gets a 3-second time penalty. Revolution, ghosting, and it's raining already. Lap 13. There's spots of rain on the cars, so here we go. Oh, and
the guys have got full value out of their setups.
100%.
Perfect time with that rain coming in.
But, as it is with this game, it might be raining, but the track won't turn wet until DRS is turned off. And we don't know how long that's going to be, so we'll have to wait and see when the track actually becomes properly wet for intermediate tyres. But at the moment, yeah, the softs are looking very, very good. Zach, after making that counter-attack move at turn 4, he's now starting to pull away from the Red Bull. But the Red Bull, that sheer speed, he's got to look to the inside into turn 1. They both give each other space. It's very good racing between these two. They show a great deal of respect towards each other. Through turn 3, look at this, Revolution to the inside. Into turn 4. It's exactly what Zach did on the previous lap. Oh, but Zach gets a switch back into turn 5. A very nice move and a great bit of racing between these two. Aaron must be absolutely loving this. Bet he's got some popcorn out. He's just watching the show between these two. It's absolutely fantastic. Swaggy now gets 3 seconds.
He's desperately trying to cling on here.
Yeah, he's now starting to fall back. 1.2 seconds. It's not looking good for his championship at the moment.
Careful, Wizzy's going to make some magic.
Well, he's got good speed at the moment, Rizzy Rick. He's pulled away from high contrast as well. So, Rizzy Rick liking these conditions, these sort of mixed conditions where it isn't really intermediate or dry conditions. It's sort of in that middle bit of a slushy condition. As
Aaron's forced Revolution to cook it. He's going to easily overtake him.
Oh, here we go. Around the outside into Curva de Sol.
Isn't that just disgraceful? He beats him to the DRS line and gets DRS anyway.
They both do. Oh, dearie me. And they're side by side through turn 4. Into turn 5. It's now a Mercedes-Benz 1-2 here at Brazil. Oh, God, it's Hamilton and Bottas all over again. Here we go.
Yeah.
Sector 3 yellow flags. That's Crossy, I think. It is Crossy.
Crossed himself up.
Oh dear. He's made a mistake in the 3rd sector. He hasn't got any damage. Sector 1.
Mediums are feeling it with a bit of moisture.
Yeah, the
precipitation.
They won't like these conditions at all, the medium tyre. As Mackenzie, Swaggy and Amazing Hour are now fighting for 7th place. Plenty of scrapping going on. Deary me, I do not know where to look. It's all happening everywhere at the moment. As Rizzy he's going to line up a move here on 40. No, 40's in. Same with Rizzy. Oh, Rizzy, pull it up, mate. He pulls it up. And takes out the pit board while he's at it. And Swaggy gets a 5 second. Also, these guys must have got a call from Jeff because the prompt hasn't come up to for DRS to be disabled. So this is a call from their engineer, I think, to switch onto the medium tyre. And out they go. But some of them ignoring the
leading the
calls.
inches.
Well, let's
I guess
see.
the beauty is they'll be on inches, they'll get DRS, and then when it turns off, they'll immediately have the grip.
But for that period of time when DRS is still active, these intermediates are going to be absolutely horrible to drive on. I'm riding on board with 40, and he's just creeping through turn 4 into turn 5, and that back end is everywhere as well, coming through turn 5 into turn 6. And look at Plev's big understeering moment. Now this will be telling. Can 40 actually keep up and catch up to Plevs? And it looks like he is. I think DRS is still enabled. I haven't seen any prompt for it to turn off yet.
Plevs might be battling a wing, just hoping to get to the pits.
Oh dear, the top two, Aaron and I Contrast, get speeding penalties. 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Dearie me. So the top three are in. Spilly's in as well, and gets a 5-second. That might be because of the pit board being missing. Drivers aren't measuring themselves up to brake at the appropriate point. And look at Aaron. Look at Aaron. That's massive. That is humongous. He's leading his teammate by 3 seconds. Oh, dearie me. No, that's the overcut from Aaron.
Massive overcut.
He stayed out on the soft tyre.
And Contrast has managed to keep third.
Third? How's he in third?
That's crazy.
How's he in third? He's in front of Revolution.
The later you pitted, the better you were.
And 40 in 8th. In 8th place. Dearie me. And Rizzy Rick.
Roscoe's going to seal the deal with the last inters.
There we go.
Inters won't last 20 laps.
I think they will. They'll last, yeah. But it's a matter of Towel.
Oh, Towel.
How on earth have you virtual safety car? Now, look at that car. How on earth has he done that? How in... Oh, Crossy, dearie me. Surely he didn't just deliberately crash a car.
I think he was probably on the grass and he just couldn't pull it in. Went sideways and went bye-bye.
It's just a... Oh, God, how Tonky.
He's trying to get maximum turn and he probably clipped the grass by accident.
Dearie me.
I've done that a couple of times.
So we're under virtual, and Aaron's got a mega lead.
Anyway, let's hear your race predictions in the chat, boys.
Yeah, with all this going on, it's a... At the moment, it's a lockout. Lockout for Mercedes-Benz, leading 1-2. Contrast in P3, a very close P3, mind you. He's right behind Zach. And so is X-Revolution. So is Rizzy and so is Amazing Out. So, we've got a 5-way fight for second place at the moment. Not sure who's going to come out on top, but Aaron. 4.5 seconds now. His lead over his teammate. That is an epic bit of racecraft to stay out on those soft tyres that somehow were still better than the intermediate and pull out that much of a margin to his teammate. I mean, these two were battling until the pit stops. Now he's got a 4.5 second lead. Very well done by Aaron, as Amazing Hour makes a move on Rizzy Rick for 5th place. Moves himself into the top 5.
This will be the greatest comeback we've ever seen if Amazing Hour gets the win.
It would be after what happened on lap 1. He effectively fell to the back.
Annihilated.
He's in 5th and he's...
Because he is just gaining.
He is. He's got mega speed at the moment. Dearie me. Jumping around a little bit. Alright. He's got great speed at the moment. And so does Rizzy Rick. He's not falling away from this
Aaron's in the box
pack.
seat here. He's Just to look after his tyres.
In fact, Revolution is the one that's fallen away a little bit. He was right behind Contrast, and that back end is everywhere.
Yeah, he's probably gone for speed, hasn't he? Because he's much quicker than Zach, side by side.
That back end was absolutely everywhere coming out of turn 12, so might not be looking too good for Mr. Revolution to try and hold on to a podium position. Speaking of which, Contrast is hanging on to the back of Zach, and these two are actually catching up to Aaron, so these two have better pace than the Mercedes at the moment. Oh, Zach goes deep, very deep into turn 4. You can't really do anything in these conditions to try and counter-attack. In fact, I think Zach gained some sort of advantage out of it. He pulled away.
Yeah, he didn't need to brake as much. He could just throttle out.
Deary me. Starting to pull away. Just ever so slightly, Zach Kryson. The next Revolution's hanging on desperately. Try and keep in touch with the top 3. Amazing how he's still in it. Same with Rizzy Rick. Not too far behind is Mackenzie and 40, and a big gap back to Swaggy in P9. Let's see, anything else happening? Yeah, there is a little bit. P14 and P15 curving Texas and Bodhod.
Got himself back into the equation here. Now the back markers, I think he was 20 seconds behind. He's now only under a second behind El Tonki.
Very nice. So we'll have some battling freaking everywhere tonight. Deary me. It's all happening here, folks. Typical Brazil, really. Absolutely typical Brazil. It's fantastic to watch. Here we go. And he actually moves himself into 18th. Ooh, amazing hour.
3-second penalty.
That may prove critical.
Won't be the only one.
May prove critical towards the end result of this race. And now Zach is starting to really close on his teammate. Gap is now 3.9 seconds, just open up to 3.9. Now close to 3.7. Sector 2 yellow flags. That's Curving Texas, is it? No. Who is that? El Tonki. I thought it was a Toro Rosso. Just picked the wrong one, and he gets a 10 second for some reason.
There you go.
Gotta love this game. Absolutely love this game.
Saved it and got punished.
100%. Oh, you just gotta love this game. You really do. All of its bugs give it character. Oh, for goodness sake. Honestly, some of the things you see on this... some of the things that you see on this game are just absolutely ridiculous. Like, if stewards in real life did this sort of shit, then Formula 1 would just be a complete and utter circus. I mean, seriously, why would you think a driver going out on the grass to try and save their car or to try and get out of the way is deserving of a 10-second time penalty? Far out.
There's no real answer for that. That's logical.
Oh, and you can do that, right? You can run wide, or you can just pull off to the side. 10 seconds. You can ram someone into the shadow realm and get nothing. You can go out.
Here.
You can go.
The concept of cheating.
You can go out of your way to take someone out of the race and will get nothing. Maybe a warning for a severe collision.
Time.
At worst it's a 5 second. But seriously, like, oh, far out.
Well, he's caught up to Macca.
Indeed he has.
He's halved the differential difference, I should say.
He is gaining a little bit of time, but at the moment...
Yeah, it's some crazy gaps. You got Swaggy 9 seconds, and then Spilly 4, Wogboy 9, Plebs 3, Expert 19 seconds, and he's 13th.
Yeah, it's
19 seconds behind 12th.
It's pretty much the top 8 that are close together at this stage.
There's just been a virtual safety car, but how can we get so much time between these cars?
I don't know.
It's crazy, man.
I don't know. I'm struggling to work it out as well, how pretty much from 9th down are so far apart of the top 8.
Bunched.
Oh, Zel Tonki gets 3 seconds for multiple warnings. But yeah, the top 8, very, very close together. In fact, they're separated by 10 seconds. From 8th down to, we'll go 16th because the rest of the field has been lapped. From 9th down
seconds,
to...
really.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's massive. What the hell?
And the lap time's like at 1:10 in the dry.
Oh, and Swaggy's in. And why? That was points. That was easily points. That's plenty of points. That's 14 points.
Probably on a promise tonight with the restrictions lowered. Teenagers, mate. Can't blame them.
I guess. It's the reason why Toddster's not here.
Oh, well, I mean, you know.
Well, that's Toddster in a nutshell. He drives quicker when he's drunk,
Mate,
it seems.
The folk out at Gladstone, they don't miss an opportunity.
They don't know. When the restrictions are off, they're off to the pub straight away.
He would have had a few Bundy colas already, I reckon. The old Toddster.
Oh, dearie me. But no, in his place is I Contrast, so I think the Haas team would be pretty happy with that replacement.
Oh, that is exceptional.
And now Revolution is all over the back of I Contrast. Now will he look for a move? Not quite. He's just going to set it up, I think. And now they have to deal with lap traffic as well, it seems. That's a Williams in front. It's Crossy
and
Crossy.
With the extra rain, it's going to be hard to see the blue.
Crossy gets well out of the runner.
Done the right thing. Crossy's all over it.
Yeah, they're really professional. Those guys, very well done, well negotiated as well, and they will come home with points. Like they're not fighting for nothing.
They very rarely get lapped because of their skill level, and here they are getting out of the way awesomely. Bloody top job, guys. Brilliant.
Yeah. Sector 2 yellow flags. It's just a stopped car. That's Roscoe, I believe. Very nicely done there.
Macca's got a 3 second. That'll give 40 an extra couple of points. And
and let's see. 40 is really starting to close onto the back of Stuart McKenzie, so there's a battle for P7. And Revolution is starting to gain a little bit on Contrast, so we might see a battle for the final podium position. And Resurrect's not too far behind Amazing Hour either, so... Well, if he stays there, he's going to get 5th position because of Amazing Hour's 3-second time penalty.
Keeps his wheel on the track.
Here we go. Very well done, Roscoe Arm, around the outside of turn 1. Gets the position, moves himself up into 16th place. Doing a great job at the moment. Recovering. Roscoe Arm in that position will score 5 points. Crossy will get 4. El Tonki will get 3. So they are actually fighting for something at the very least. So
they might shoot Haas up in the constructors.
A little bit. And, you know, that little contribution that Contrast is doing at the moment, you know, in 3rd, that might shoot him up a little bit as well. Well, that's if he can stay there. He's got this daunting-looking Red Bull right up his backside, and right up that backside is the Alfa Romeo of Amazing Hour, and not too far behind him is the orange McLaren of Rizzy Rick, and just behind them is Stuart McKenzie in 40. So there's still potential for a fair amount of shaking up in the order, but
for sure,
just a little bit
to go. It's anyone's show. But the Mercs are just putting on an exhibition here.
At the moment they are, and
somehow
Zach's gaining too.
Dismantled the race.
Zach is
from 2 angles too. 1 undercut, 1 overcut.
Yeah. And Zach is gaining massively too. Now the gap is 2 seconds between them. Now I wonder if there will be some Barrichello orders coming Aaron's way, or do you think they will actually scrap it out for first place?
I think, Aaron will hold on to it. Because he wants to get third, and that will stretch him away from Macca.
Yeah, and Zach's guaranteed first in the driver's standings if he stay as is. And it also helps in the Constructors' Championship. By switching positions, it affects nothing in the Constructors. So, yeah, it would be better as a whole if Aaron stayed out in front. But is Zach like that? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
It's up for him to catch up now, isn't it?
That's true.
Vettel in Russia saying, well, if he wants to overtake me, he's got to catch up.
That's it.
Can't let him by if he's not here.
No, that's very true.
But I think we'll see an engine failure here. I think I'll finish.
Yeah, no magical Valtteri Bottas engine failure. It's amazing, really. I remember Valtteri in a couple of engine failures here and there. But with Lewis, throughout in his entire career at Mercedes, I only know of one engine failure, and that was Malaysia. That's the only one I remember. I can't even...
That's right, when he lost to Nico.
Yeah. I can't even remember Lewis having any other engine failure other than that. I just... Well, I'm sure there is. I just can't think of it right now. But...
They've got to bring back Malaysia. That was a beautiful track.
It is a beautiful track. Well, now they put lights up. They put lights up. Proper lights on the circuit. So it might turn into a night race if they do bring it back, which would be even awesome. Like to see that Malaysian flag in artificial light. Oh yeah, that's one of the great things about Malaysia is that its weather, it's either really hot and dry or it's monsoon rain like it was in 2009. It absolutely bucketed down.
Amazing how he is right in the fight now. He is
very much so, and so is Rizzy Rick.
One good exit away from overtaking.
Sector 1 yellow flags. I think that's just a slow car. Was that slow car 40? I don't think it was. But yes, this battle for P3 has really hot up. Now that we have a potential battle for first place as well between the two teammates. Might see a bit of Nico and Lewis here for the final 7 or so laps in this race.
In contrast, might be probably the only controller user here.
Most of the guys use wheels. Aaron, Zach use wheels. Revolution? Does he use a wheel? I don't know. I guess he could. Amazing Hour has switched to a wheel. I think Rizzy Rick uses a wheel as well. Yeah, you might be right. And that rain is coming down quite heavy now. And I just noticed some guys on the wet tyre. Bodhod and Crossy, Sector 2 yellow flags.
Crossy's dumped it somewhere.
Oh, he's out. Virtual safety car has been deployed. Whoa. There we go.
Contrast won't be happy with that.
No, he won't.
We'll bring him back just enough to...
Oh, wow. Oh, okay, yeah. He probably spun it at turn 5, hitting the inside wall. That auto spin curb on the inside probably played a bit of a part in that. Either that or just got a bit too early on the throttle. 40's in the pits onto a set of wet compound tyres. He also gets a front wing change. Might have got a lime green front wing. And out he goes. I was saying that it is getting a little bit heavier. Just a little bit.
That's a pretty smart move by 40 because he only lost one position but he gained so much downforce now.
Yeah.
He'll rock it back up.
Yeah, he probably adjusted that front wing as well to give it more downforce in these wet conditions. So I'm right on board with him just to see how the car behaves. The car looks pretty stable at this stage, but this will be telling... Ooh, back end. But to be honest, that could have happened on the intermediates as well.
Yeah.
Through turn 7, that Car looks pretty planted. Oh, back end though. Maybe not quite just yet for the wet compound tyre. It might be close, but I don't think quite just yet. Let's see that gap between Logboy and 40. It's starting to open up. Yeah, so it's not quite time for the wet tyre. Not quite, it's almost there. Almost. We just have to wait.
Racing now.
Right, so Contrast is starting to pull away from Revolution. Gap has opened up to almost a second. Amazing Hour still on the back of Revolution. Sector 3 yellow flags, that's Roscoe Arm, is it? It is, he's spun. Oh, he's in a horrible place. Oh, yep, go son. Oh, no, you need to back it up. Now go. There he goes. And those tyres are done, by the way. His tyres are completely done.
Blocky's put a few F1 facts in the chat.
Ooh.
2014 Canada, both Mercs had brake failures. 2018 Austria, Bottas had a gearbox fail and Hamilton had an engine blowout.
In 2018?
Thank you, Blocky. Keep them coming.
I remember the brake failure because that ultimately resulted in Daniel Ricciardo winning that race. And that safety car towards the end as well. Stuart McKenzie 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He's switching onto the wet.
That he's 17 seconds up on Spilly.
But the switch onto the wet.
He's only just got out. I think Spilly might get him here.
Here we go. Now Spilly, he has to go the long way. But Mackenzie has to be careful, and yet he has got him. Oh, it's going to be...
boys into.
So, it might be time for the wets. It might be getting close. But the drivers want to gamble. Stay out, get that track position, or will they come in onto the appropriate tyre? There's still plenty of racing to go.
It's just incredible the amount of skill these guys have to drive in these conditions. No
with
assists.
With no assist, yeah.
It's crazy, especially like 20 lap old tyres. Just awesome.
It's called the Masters Championship for a reason. Revolution has a massive sideways moment out of turn 12. And he's staying out. So is Light Contrast. So is Amazing Hour. Resurrect, does he go in? No, he doesn't. Oh. Will anyone gamble? Will anyone risk it? We'll have to wait and see. Sector 3 yellow flags. That's an Alfa Romeo. That's Stuart McKenzie. He's into the wall, actually. He's completely destroyed his front wing.
Well, at least he's lining up for the pits.
Oh, that's if he wants to go in. I didn't think he would.
He's going to battle. 14 seconds. On 40. 40's already there.
Deary me. So, yeah, 40... Where is he? He's now 2 seconds behind Mackenzie. So 40's definitely going to overtake the Alpha. No doubt. Speaking of overtaking, we might see one here. Oh my word, it really is pelting down here at Interlagos. These drivers have to tiptoe. If they want to stay out, they have to tiptoe.
Zach is definitely going to make a move.
Here we go. Into turn 1. Down the inside, into the centre rest. They're side by side. Can Aaron hold it around the outside? He can and will. He'll have the inside for turn 2. He hangs on to the lead for now. Zach,
the better exit.
He's going to line this up.
But
here we go, down the inside. Down the inside, and he's done it. Zach Crichton into turn 5. Now into turn 6 and 7. So Aaron's lost out big time. Deary me. Now, James, are you there?
Yeah,
Oh, right. I thought I might have cut out then. I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go.
No, I was just watching in awe.
Righto. Because, yeah, I'm still surprised that they're still relatively straight as well.
You can see the cars just twisting through the corner, and somehow the drivers are just collecting it every time. They're just picking it up, putting it back on. It's just really great display.
Here we go. 40 and Mackenzie. Remember, Mackenzie's got wing damage. Oh, Mackenzie goes defensive into turn 6. 40's looking around the outside there, interlocking wheels. Oh, this pushed out wide. Still pushed out wide. Mackenzie's having none of it. Oh, and another tag. Oh, it's touring car stuff at the moment between these two. Mackenzie desperately trying to hang on for 8th place. Mackenzie goes deep again into the hairpin. Nowhere to go for 40. Oh, Jesus Christ, these two. And down the inside again.
40 has to
diving. And 40 finally gets the position. Moves into P8 after a valiant fight to try and hang on to that position. And Amazing Hours now moved up into P4 as well. So it's looking good for Contrast to hang on to P3. Because Amazing Hours got 3 seconds next to his name. So he'll ultimately fall down to 5th place. Not quite 6. Aussie Rizzy Rick has fallen away. But wow.
Mac is somehow still sticking with 40.
He's doing well enough.
No wing.
Oh, he's going to look actually down the inside on the grass.
Sending.
Oh, in contact between the two. Deary me. 40 won't be happy with that at all. 2 wheels on the grass to try and make that move stick. He really wanted the inside. 40's going to look around the out and pushed off the track is 40. Oh, dearie me. He really wants that 8th place, but he will ultimately lose it because of his time penalty. He's racing for nothing at this stage. He's
racing for pride. They don't want to give it up.
5 seconds for exceeding track limits. Oh, for goodness sake. But it's been an absolute masterclass between the two Mercedes-Benz drivers. They pulled off an awesome strategy. Just timing the pit stop right, Aaron, but ultimately his teammate was that much quicker. Able to catch up and overtake him. But here we go, around turn 12, and this will ultimately secure this driver's title, regardless if he wins.
To win a championship.
If he wins or not, he will secure the driver's title. It's going to be a side-by-side finish, is it? It is too. It's a form finish for Mercedes-Benz into Interlagos, and Zach Crichton will ultimately become the driver's champion here in the master tier of Dynamic Knights Esports. And I forgot that Aaron got a 5 second for speeding in the pit lane as well.
Amazing Hours on the podium too.
Oh, did Contrast have a 5 second? He must have.
He didn't. Unserved.
Did he speed in the pit lane as well? I think he must have. But there we go. A champion drive for a driver's champion. There we go. P1 for Zach Crichton. And a form finish as well for Mercedes-Benz here at Interlagos.
Mac has lost it. Oh, he's being collected by Wogboy.
And Wogboy around as well. Both of them spinning around desperately trying to get back on circuit. Deary me. So Contrast will end up ultimately finishing in 4th place.
Dr. Dre's lost it. Curving's lost it.
Oh, they're all just deciding to crash at the line because why not?
Maybe it's a celebration for Zach.
Oh. But Dre is on the soft, so is Texas, and so is Bodhod. They're all on the softs. What on earth?
That's brilliant.
That is the ultimate strategy. Oh,
I think he might overtake all these guys.
I think he might too. If he keeps going, he just might. Oh, in
He's got
contact
AI.
between
Ooh.
Bono and Bono's retired.
Oh no.
And he's, oh my goodness me, look at that car. My goodness.
AI's already made it around.
It's on its side, dear
There
me.
we go.
And El Tonki's taken them.
Bang.
Oh, and no, El Tonki's retired. He's crashed into, who is that?
Expert. Yeah.
Oh, dearie me.
Okay, so we've got about 5 DNFs on the last lap here.
I'm not sure if El Tonki will be too happy with that. He was trying to get through.
And he's got robbed from some pretty decent points.
Dearie me.
But it was a
What a race.
great race to watch, I can tell you.
But what a drive and what a season it has been for this man and this team. And what a way to seal the deal here in our first season of the Masters Championship. Zach Crichton wins here in Brazil and becomes the Drivers' Champion in our first ever Masters Championship season. Well done to him and the Mercedes team. I think they might secure the Constructors' Championship as well. I think they might be mathematically unbeatable. Aaron, a superb P2, and F1 Amazing Hour will secure P3 after penalties. I forgot our eye contrast had 5 seconds due to speeding, but yeah, there we go, 5 seconds. And I believe that was for speeding as well. So yes, Zach Crichton wins. I believe not quite fastest lap. I think that goes to X Revolution, who had a absolutely superb start to the race, led for a lot of it. But when the wet conditions came around, he ultimately fell to 5th. Eye contrast, a great race as well. From 9th to 4th, Rizzy Rick finishes 6th, Spilly 7th. A nice result for the Ferrari. 40 in P8, Wogboy P9, and Plebs rounds out the top 10. Wow.
I think Amazing Hour had the quickest lap there.
Did Amazing Hour?
11.137.
I didn't see the one. I was too busy looking at the twos. There we go. So Amazing Hour had it
out as well. There's no chance of seeing every single number.
Yeah, there we go.
But, yeah,
should we get
brilliant.
the top 3 in here? We'll have a chat.
Absolutely.
Alright. Doopy doopy doop. Where are they? I'll invite them in. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Where are they? Aaron, there's you. For an Amazing Hour. And Zach, all the way down at the bottom. Ah, dearie me. What a race. What a nice way to end off the championship, the Drivers' Championship at least. I think they secure Constructors as well, but I'm not too sure.
They're 130 up. Even if they DNF, the maximum points is 78 or 9. I think Alpha probably secure it as well.
Wow.
Their second place in the Constructors.
Oh, come on, fellas.
Which has really been amazing because Amazing Hours only joined halfway through the season with that team.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, there he is.
Drivers and
Aaron's going.
Constructors title wrapped up. Let's go.
Well done. Well, okay, we got the top 2. Tell you what, we'll start off the interviews now. We'll wait for F1 Amazing Hour. But first of all, congratulations to both of you. A 1-2 finish for Mercedes and a nice little touch at the end of the race as well. We got that on camera, a nice form finish. But first, Zach Crichton, congratulations on first of all the win, but the bigger congratulations is securing the Drivers and I believe Constructors Championship for this first season. Yep. Well done, mate. Absolutely superb driving.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to race in the first season of DNE. You had great fun and many great battles as well on the way to the title, but just had to try and keep my nose clean in that race and managed to get the job done. So yeah, both titles are wrapped up prior to Japan, so couldn't be happier with that.
Well, how did your race go as a whole? You were battling a lot at the start, and then the pit stops happened, and that shook everything up between you and your teammate.
Yeah, it did. So I started with a wet setup, and it kind of worked towards the end. I felt like I had not too bad pace there, but
Yep.
first stint it was quite close between the top 4 I think, and had a crazy battle with Rebs there. I think we went side by side for 3/4 of a lap at one stage, so yeah, that was real fun. Then the rain came, and I probably pitted one lap too early, because then when Aaron pitted, it was like 4 seconds up the road, so just had to focus and stay calm and slowly catch up to him, which I did, and then caught him, and yeah, playing that formation finish across the line. So it was good.
Any hiccups along the way? It looked pretty smooth from our point of view.
Yeah, not really, to be honest. It was all smooth sailing. I just had to try and keep my nose clean, so I wasn't pushing too hard to fight or pass people. Just have to sit and try and pass where I needed to, and managed to get it done with no penalties as well that race.
No, very well done. And again, congratulations on victory, and congratulations on the driver's title. Very well done. And winning a no assist here, it must feel pretty good as well. No assists, no nothing.
Sure does. Yeah, and first attempts at driving with no line as well this season, so just happy with that to show people who might have thought how good Odie just turned up with race with line, but you know, you can turn up with no line and still be alright as well. But yeah, I'd like to thank Aaron as well for being my teammate, because he put in heaps of work, heaps of laps, and managed to bring home heaps of points this season. So thank you, Aaron.
Well, speaking of which, we'll move on to second place. Aaron, mate, that was also a superb drive from you. Ultimately, penalties dictated your finishing position with that 5 second. I believe you got from speeding in the pit lane.
Sadly, it's really annoying.
But your pit stop was timed to perfection, mate. And to come out almost 5 seconds in front of Zach after you've been battling with him throughout the early stages of the race. Oh, mate, so close yet so far, unfortunately for you. How did your race go as a whole?
It went pretty good. Obviously, I think that strategy call to just go in a lap later than Zach. We were chatting a bit in the party room. He was like, should I pit? And I'm like, look, I don't want to double stack. But you can stay out if you want. And then, yeah, that was just the strategy call that pretty much saved me. I don't know, it was pretty consistent. It was just Bailey Revolution and I at the start, and Zach. And we weren't battling too hard, but it was just nice to be up with the front guys. And that strategy call just saved me, just kept it clean. Just didn't try and cut any corners. I knew I had that 5 seconds, so I just had to make sure that as long as I didn't do anything stupid, I should have been able to have the gap to whoever was in third place.
Yep. No, that was very well done. And a nice sort of form finish as well between you two. Zach securing the drivers and you two securing the Constructors' Championship. You must be glad that you two ultimately came out on top as the ultimate team in this Master Tier. You must be feeling pretty happy about that, to be a part of that team.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was obviously something pretty special, I think. Like, we worked pretty hard throughout the season. Zach was pretty dominant throughout, and I knew, like, him being one of the best players in Oceania, if not the best, I reckon. I had to work hard and just make sure that I was still putting in some performances. I wasn't expecting myself to finish second behind him every time, but just as long as I put in the performances here, and in the end we just dominated the Constructors. So congrats to him on the drivers, and congrats to both of us on Constructors. I think we were a pretty dynamic duo in the end. It was too simple, I guess.
Oh, it was very well done by the both of you. And again, a nice form finish as well to really cap off that season. Thank you, you two. We'll move on to third place. Mr. Amazing Hour, that was a rocky start, but you recovered to third place. Take us through your race and how you went throughout your Brazilian Grand Prix.
Yeah, it was an interesting one, to say the least. I certainly didn't expect to be sitting here with about 2 laps to go. I don't know what happened at the start, to be honest. I mean, the first half a lap was good. I was comfortable sitting behind Aaron and Revolution, and then just as we've come out of that right-hander, just as I've got on the gas, cars just snapped on me and haven't been able to catch it. So yeah, pretty annoyed with that, to be honest. Felt like I might have thrown away a shot to at least try and fight for P2, but yeah, when the rain come, the pace wasn't real good. Neither of us Alfa Romeo guys felt too good. I just don't think the cars were to our liking. We thought the rain might come a bit later on, so we kind of gambled on going full send on a dry setup, and yeah, probably wasn't the smartest idea we've ever had. But no, all in all, happy to come away with a P3 from Brazil, especially after that cock up at the start. But you know, shit happens, as they say. So I'll take a podium, but you know, GG to you two fellas, too damn quick out there tonight. And obviously, Zach, congrats on the drivers, and congrats to the pair of you on the constructors. And yeah, that's all there is from me, really. So on to the finale next week.
Yeah, it's time for the final round of the championship. Well, the championship's already over, but we still got one round to go, and it should be an entertaining one. Mr. Cruz, have you got anything to add on that I've missed? I'm sure I missed something.
Just a quick question for all three of you. What are your plans for the lowered restrictions? You Mercedes boys going to go out and paint the town red?
I know a few of my mates are doing quite a bit. Tomorrow I think we're all just going to a mate's house, so don't know, nothing special. I'm not a massive alcohol drinker, but I do love a sesh with the boys here and there.
Zach, surely you got to pop some champagne after finishing.
Yeah, for sure, mate. A few cold beverages after that one. But
we're saving it all for Japan. Some Masakis.
Yeah. Right. You know it. But yeah.
Come on, you've got to do some tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
Just a little bit here and there.
Might not be, but we'll see.
Yeah, I got to work on my uni assignment at the moment, so as soon as I finish here, I got to go and do that. So.
Mate, fuck uni. You've just won a world champ. You just won a Masters Championship.
I thought you were the definition of YOLO.
Have a drink.
No, it's probably a smart thing to do, Zach. Always put real life over this stuff. But no, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us in the comm box for what has been a very nice Brazilian Grand Prix. And again, congratulations on Zach and the Mercedes team on winning both championships. And I also like to thank Mr. James Cruz for joining me in the commentary box. Mate, for the first time in a while since we've worked together, Germany we didn't really quite work together. We had, I think it was SidePod in. Yeah, and that's right, I couldn't hear you. Oh, you can hear me, I think.
Versa, yeah. Look, it's been an absolute pleasure, jumping in. Yeah, thanks for having me. And thanks to the drivers. It really truly was a masterclass out there. Each week, you guys put out a show for all our aspiring drivers wanting to get better, wanting to improve, and you guys are leading the way with not only hard racing but clean precision around some really tough tracks and tough conditions. And tonight showed the top 8 were another class. You guys just handled it awesomely. So well done to everybody.
Cheers.
A very nice message from Mr. Cruz. Well, thank you, mate, for joining us. And it's been a pleasure to have you join me. A very fine member to have in the comm box, I do have to say. And I think that will end round 14 of this championship, the penultimate round of the Master Tier Championship here on Dynamic Nights Esports. Tune in next week for the final round. We go to the land of the rising sun. We go to Japan, we go to Suzuka, one of the most legendary and a fan favourite racetrack for some drivers as well. A real challenge for the teams and a real challenge for the drivers as well. Negotiating the first sector and its notorious auto spin curves. Oh God, it's absolutely awful through there. But that will end it for tonight. I've been the Smeg. My co-commentator tonight has been James Cruz. We'll see you all next week. Good night.